Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Socially Awesome channel. Elise Smith here, and I am so excited to be bringing you episode 2 of our branding series in January of 2023. So if you missed the first episode, go back and check it out. All of January, we will be covering pieces that you need to build a very strong personal brand, becoming brand because we are launching a challenge in our free community, Socially Awesome Entrepreneurs. Check the show notes below wherever you are watching. But our free challenge starts January 23rd and is 3 days long. It will be helping you become a brand boss. So I will be going into intensive training all about how to build a very strong personal brand. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're missing the mark on your content, it's because you're unsure of your branding. Your branding is so much more than just fonts and colors, but of course, that's a large part of it. So we're going to be breaking it down piece by piece in January. And then in our group, we'll actually be hosting a challenge where we help you to level up your branding. And even if you've had a strong personal brand in the past, you have to consistently do a refresh, right? Stay on top of the trends, make sure that you are modernizing your brand. It's not outdated. Your verbiage isn't outdated. Not to say that your logo and things need to change, but doing a refresh can help. So make sure that you're following us, subscribing wherever you're watching this podcast, YouTube, that you have subscribed to our episodes in our channel to make sure that you get all of the pieces to this branding puzzle. Okay. So today we're talking about what is a brand identity. And just like your personal identity, okay, your hair color, your features on your face, how you talk, your voice, just like your personal identity, your brand identity is what makes your business unique. What sets you apart from the other thousands of people doing exactly what your business is doing, right? More times than not, you're going to have a competitor. You're going to have someone that's in the industry. Collaboration or competition is what I say, but someone's doing what you're doing. Very rarely are you 100% proprietary, okay? So we have to make sure that something sets you apart. The term branding refers to the marketing practice of actively shaping a distinctive brand, right? Actively making yourself unique. But we're going to be talking today specifically about how to develop a strong brand identity. So the first piece of this puzzle is know who you are. Before you know what tangible elements you have, right? Like your logo and things like that, you need to know who you are as a brand because those elements need to represent your brand. So if you're not sure of all of the insides, so to speak, of your, how can you create visuals for people to see? So who are you as a brand? Make up your key elements. So what is your mission? What is your why? Why did you start this business? Who are you helping? Your values, what beliefs drive your company? What is your brand's personality? If your brand was a person, what kind of personality would they have? Your unique positioning on things that will differentiate your company. For instance, I believe branding is important, whereas you might have other people that don't, right? You might have other people that say, fonts and colors aren't important. That's okay. That's their positioning on it. What is your positioning on certain things in your industry that's going to separate you? Right? I follow a lot of social media marketers, and you'll have some that say video is king, and you'll have some that say blogging is king. So regardless, content is king. Whatever content you're going to be consistent with, that's my positioning. Okay, so my positioning on content is, what do you enjoy making? Because that's what you're going to be consistent with. If you don't enjoy doing video, you're not going to make videos. If you don't enjoy blogging, you're not going to do blogging. I'm not saying you can't do them all because you can outsource anything. My agency does all of it. But you need to make sure that whatever you are doing, you enjoy, that you'll be consistent with. And your brand voice. So again, what is your voice? Is it assertive? Is it kind? Is it passive? Like I'll say AF occasionally because I'm a very bold, assertive person. That's something I would say in my actual life. So you'll often see that in my content. I prefer not to use the actual curse word necessarily, but I'll say AF because that's like a little sprinkle for me. And it's going to attract that person that wants to work with me. There are people that are offended by it. There are people that have made comments and say, is that necessary? That's okay. That's not the people I want to work with. Okay. So you just have to make sure that your messaging, your brand voice is attracting those people that you want to work with. So these elements are what define your brand. And before you start building that identity visually, it's important for you to have clear understanding of each of these. So if you haven't, go back, do the work, think about it. You can actually go back to some of the first episodes of this podcast. So scroll all the way back. I did an entire month of branding before, and I talked a lot about this as well. So you could get some really good elements out of that too. But ask yourself, why did we start this business? What are my beliefs and my values that are important to this company? What do we do better than anyone else? What is your zone of genius? What makes us special? If we could describe our brand in 3 words, what would they be? And then what are the 3 words we want our customers to use to best describe us? So you'll often hear me say, make it simple, make it social, and make it awesome. And those are my 3 words, simple, social, and awesome. I want simple social strategies that other people can implement in their businesses. So those are my consulting clients. I give them simple social strategies. I also teach my team for my social media agency, because we handle other people's social media profiles. I need to teach them simple systems. If it's not duplicatable, I can't scale my business. So I really have on keeping it simple, keeping it social. So engagement is my specialty. That's where a lot of social media marketers lack. It's all me, I, and you have to have that engagement piece. That's my specialty. That's what my zone of genius. Okay. So I strive on keeping it social, which is hinting on engagement, and then making it awesome. So if you're not familiar with my story, you can find it almost anywhere, especially on my website, sociallyawesome.com. But my business is spelled differently because my family is an autism family, and that makes us unique. So I really thrive on keeping it unique. What is uniquely you? What makes you awesome? Okay, so that is those 3 special words you'll hear often in my business. And if you're unfamiliar with how to do some of this discovery, I actually have a freebie that is in my group, Socially Awesome Entrepreneurs. You can find the link in the show notes below, but there's a freebie in there called my personal branding playbook, and it will help walk you through. You can actually it's a workbook. You work through all of this. Okay. So next you'll want to design the foundation of your brand identity. So just like Adidas, right? Adidas built their brand identity of your middle school star athlete persona, right? And their corporate design assets are tangible assets that determine that is what they want to be perceived for their client. Okay. So in other words, nailing your design is nailing your brand identity, which is building a successful business. So you have to make sure your elements are representatives of that identity. So how exactly do you nail your design and brand identity that will take your business to that next level? I'm going to go back to the challenge. We'll be talking about this really in depth in the upcoming challenge. But before you start creating your design assets, you need to start from the ground up and lock in those building blocks. So your building blocks would be typography. And I'll go into depth more on this in the next few episodes, but you need to make sure that your fonts represent and refer to your brand identity. This is important. Your color palette, there's an entire psychology behind it. Your form and shape. So what shapes are you using? So once you've figured out those building blocks of your design, it's time to work with your designer. If you're outsourcing it or do it yourself, do some research, do some market research here, but your brand identity can be expressed in a lot of different elements. So in your logo, in your website, in your product packaging, your business cards, your email designs, your brand style guide, your even just the clothing that you wear. You'll often see me in my branding colors, even though the shirt needs to be ironed a little bit. But you'll see me in my colors because it helps reaffirm that brand design with you. You see my logos on the screen, right? You see my name on the screen. You have to think of all of these ways to drip your brand identity into your messaging. So I hope you got some value out of today's episode. I know it's a lot of sprinkles into what is to come, but make sure that you are subscribed, you're following us so that you can get all of the episodes in this series. I hope you will join our challenge. It's completely free and you'll get tons and tons and tons of value out of it. So if you enjoyed this episode and you got something out of it, please take a screenshot of you watching, share it to your stories and tag me. You can find my username in the show notes. You can also find it on any of my platforms. It's Elise One Smith. We do a giveaway every single month for people who share out our platform, and we give a gift card. We'll pick a winner every month. So make sure every time you watch, one of my episodes, whether it be YouTube, Facebook Live, podcast, wherever you're seeing this, screenshot it, share, tag me, okay? Also, make sure that you have subscribed to get more of our goodies, okay? So I will see you in the next episode. Make it simple, make it social, and make it awesome. Bye, guys.